But for this, I don't know if everybody is aware of
I'm not.
exactly what's taking place
That was
with
very
regard
St. Louis right there. I don't know if everybody aware.
A word. He named big words now.
He said, I don't know if everybody aware. I said,
All
well,
he gotta
come
show
on
is
in, St.
education.
Louis.
He always got to show his degree. Every day,
Cut
every
it
time.
on out, St. Louis.
St.
I
Louis.
no degree.
Nigga special,
I don't
nigga.
care. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if everyone is aware. All right.
There you go. There you go, college.
College,
There it is, no college.
Joe College.
Everybody is. But recently, your boy RG3.
No. Robert Lee Griffin the third.
Lee Griffin, formerly known as RG3, made some
Formerly known
comments
as
about about how he feels about Caitlin Clark. Now, if you didn't see it, there was a flagrant foul on Sunday. And let's just listen. Like, this is how the young ladies that were actually in the event, they had spoken on what happened. Here's just to give a little bit of context what some of the young ladies said, including Caitlin Clark, who was involved in this.
What happened there?
AB got the tech?
I know.
Wait, what? I got the tech? I didn't know that. Oh, first of all,
I know.
let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after. We watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line or rather give up 2 points. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's not the type of player I am. So, yes, it wasn't anything like that. And I went for the ball, and that's clear as day in the replay. You watch it. It shouldn't have been upgraded. But again, that's up to the ref's discretion. But I appreciate AB having my back. I guess I don't even know what she did. I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, girl,
have fun paying that fine.
Can I get half? Can you send me?
I got it.
Oh,
Don't worry.
perfect.
I wonder
Real
if you
hefty.
could, what happened.
So Caitlin Clark was playing. All right, there's multiple ways to view what's going on, and depending on what side of the opinion aisle you are, you can look at this multiple ways. All right, so Angel Reese, frankly, is justifiably perturbed, to put it lightly, with regard to the way that she was left out of the inclusion of the bump that the WNBA got after her and Caitlin Clark bumped heads in public. Like, they made a rivalry into a vibe. You know what I mean? And all of that, with all of this shit, that shit was popping, bro. That shit was hot. Caitlin Clark goes on to beat some pretty remarkable records. Let's keep it real. But as a result, Angel Reese ends up left out of the formula that people are saying led to the bump in the WNBA. And I think that she's never let that go. I think that she doesn't think that Caitlin Clark is given everybody the big picture with regard to what all happened with the most recent WNBA boom. And I think she carries that. And I think she does kind of look at Caitlin through those eyes. Like, you the bitch that get all the credit for the shit that you are now famous for when it's me that made you famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, yeah, she carries that. Caitlin, I don't think she feels that way. I think Caitlin's like, look, I'm just here to play basketball or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But she doesn't realize, like, now there's a whole army of people that literally are thinking that Caitlin Clark represents like the new white hope for the WNBA. And she at first was like, whatever. But then she was like, okay, yeah, W is my name for that shit. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. She's already that person. So now when any of these conversations come about, they're going to be split down those sides. So I say that to say this was RG3 trying to come. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. What was his name again, Black Rums?
Robert Lee Griffin III.
Robert Lee Griffin III. My apologies.
Motherfucker.
Robert Lee Griffin III decided he was going to have an opinion about said topic. And I just feel like the way that he did respond to this was interesting. The first thing we saw that he did was he actually posted a tweet about it. The tweet read, Angel Reese said she is a villain, refused to answer questions about Caitlin Clark, and has celebrated flagrant fouls on Caitlin Clark. I'm not helping create anything. Angel Reese is fed into this with her actions. She needs to do better, and he took it even further and decided, I'm going to go even further onto the internet and speak my mind. But tell me if you notice anything interesting about this take.
And we're gonna get into what RG3 said, and also
sorry, that's not
they kicked the Leah. So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard they kicked Leah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul.
Y'all see anything interesting about this take that you wouldn't normally see?
I'm distracted with the white girl in the back with the coffee.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you know who that white woman is, Solo?
Who?
That is his wife. He's got his
Ew! I knew it.
Playing.
I knew this nigga tastes like straight up white cupcakes and shit. This nigga
Y'all
right
notice
here.
how she holding the cup, kind of like the white woman on Get Out?
Yeah, what? What?
Whoa! There's a whole thing going on there. And like I was saying before,
She got her knees bent, got her feet. First of all, the hell got her feet on her own furniture. So very disrespectful. Sitting there like, good nigga. That's a good nigga.
Oh my God. Choke me.
See, one thing I agree with what you said, Vince, is like it or not, Caitlin Clark has been named the new great white hope. See, white people love to grab a white athlete and place them in the top of their hearts, minds, and most of the imagery surrounding their sport of choice. And especially since the white population is dwindling in sports as of late. So they love when I mean, even before Tom Brady left, there was more attention being paid to these new black and new mixed quarterbacks than the white quarterbacks of old. There are far more black athletes in the NBA. There are far more black athletes in the WNBA. So when white people get a mid to good white athlete, they hold them up. They can't even talk about LeBron for talking about Austin Reeves. They can't even talk about the whole Charlotte Bobcats for talking about Dalton Connect. Even when Oklahoma City was playing, they talking about Alex Caruso. You understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I noticed that too.
So they try to find a white denizen to be their face for their franchise, for their sport, for their love. So Caitlin Clark, what'd you say?
I was just gonna say that this is the most recent manifestation of this whole thing because this happens
absolutely
throughout time, right?
But if you notice, if you pay attention, for the last 5 years, there's been a new class of college girls coming out, and less of that class is comprised of white girls. The college sports hasn't been white girl led since the days of Diana Taurasi. So now with the Flages and the Jujus and the Angels that are coming out, what's the other girl that came out with Angel that played for South Carolina? Tall, fine ass girl.
Bo P missed out. Bo P, you love talking with WNBA, and he ain't want to be here today. So it is.
I can't call her name right now, but she was on that championship South Carolina team, and she went into the WNBA. But these are all black women. Asia Wilson, all these black girls that have turned the tunnel into a New York Fashion Week runway. As they walk into these games with these fly ass outfits on, with their 6 feet or better fine asses, and you got to remember that most of the stars in the WNBA are straight now, so that's why the WNBA is becoming more and more marketable. Yeah, because you see how everybody's eyes perked up when we used to think of the WNBA. We used to be like, "Oh, don't nobody want to go watch dyke ball." Because these are all these women who play hard like men, but they can't dunk. So nobody wanted to watch the WNBA. So now you got these girls that have added the finesse game to their bag. They got handles. They mixing them up, and they hitting jumpers like they Steph, and they dating men and marrying men. So it's like there's so much more marketability. So with all of this exposure, there just so happened to be this one white girl who was taking over college named Caitlin Clark. And in the hype, in the midst of the groundswell that has surrounded women's sports, because you got to remember, this is in the hype of ultra feminism becoming marketable. This is when every major corporation has taken a decided effort to be more female and feminine leading in all of their programs and all of their advertisements and all of their new marketing campaigns. All of this was going on at the same time. So what we not finna do is make it seem like Caitlin Clark was single-handedly responsible for all of the new exposure that the WNBA has been getting as of late. No, this thing's been cooking for a long time. And she's benefited because she's the most prominent white face in women's sports, in women's professional basketball as of late. So there's always they never see the villainy that she does. And every time anything gets done to her, she's automatically a victim. She exists in that utopian white space that most white women like to live in, where they get to be both the victim and the hero in the same goddamn story.
Well, can I speak on this?
When she throw elbows, when she do dirty plays, when she celebrates or taunts, nobody sees that. Nobody was paying attention when she was doing this in the women's Final Four. But when Angel did it back to her, now all of a sudden it's taunting. So they want to try to create this Magic Johnson, Larry Bird type rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And anytime there's a black versus white, it always gets turned into a good versus evil battle. Because white folks have to vilify the black character in order to justify what's already innately built inside of most of them, which is that ingrained hatred that goes all the way back to when the very first sets of us climbed off of slave ships fucking hundreds of years ago. So they have to paint the black character into the bad guy, which is why Robert Lee Griffin on his tweet pointed out that Angel likes being the bad guy. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to marketing, there's no such thing as bad press. And a lot of people are turning everything into the WWE these days, where you can either be a face or a heel. And you got to either lean in. No matter which direction you go, you got to lean in. If you're going to be a face, you got to lean in and be all good. Everything that you do got to be squeaky clean. You got to be like Tim Tebow. If you're going to be a face. And if you're going to be a heel, then you got to lean all the way into being a heel. You got to be such a bad guy that you become a jackass. Like what they tried to do with Draymond Green. This is why Draymond Green pointed out, I'm sick and tired of them always painting me out to be the angry black man.
Wow.
I play 82 games a year. I've had a career that has lasted longer than a decade, which means I've played hundreds of basketball games. Yet every time y'all want to paint me out to be a certain pitcher, y'all grab the same 12 clips of when I've
we like to welcome T back
done a dirty foul. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to show the 12 times in which I punch, kick, trip, choke, done all of these things that are considered angry black man things. But y'all don't show the other 800 fucking basketball games I played where I ain't did none of that shit.
None of it, nigga. Not a damn
Y'all didn't show where I was in the Olympics and I was serving as a goodwill ambassador for this fucking country. Y'all don't show when I go on TV and I flex my Michigan State fucking degree and I show y'all how articulate and well dressed I can be. Y'all don't like to see that part of Draymond Green. Even though I've allowed my gray hair to come in so that y'all can respect my grown manness as I elevate into the last years of my professional basketball career, y'all still love playing niggas and portraying niggas out to be the thug.
Thugging.
And that's what they doing with Angel Reese. They trying to make her out to be the fucking thug so that they can make Caitlin Clark the fucking victim. The victim of this niggatry. You got this big black angry nigga bitch that keeps putting her hands on this lily white infallible white woman, and all she want to do is play basketball. And you got this fucking gangster bitch with one leg sleeve that's always throwing her hands up and always making angry faces. You know, they can't stand to see a black woman that ain't smiling.
And there's a great possibility that bitch could get some dick. Listen.
Yo, what the fuck? What kind of segment? All right, real quick,
Yo,
Solo.
I gotta say,
I want to
Hey,
Solo.
Solo. We got people on the live, man. Just because you married don't mean you get to scare the hoes.
Not the hoes. Look, Solo got to take. We want to definitely get into Solo's take real quick.
Don't change the picture. That picture scaring the hoes.
Yo, but we definitely gotta listen.
please run that beautiful bean footage.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get the footage. All right, let's talk about.
First, I want to go to the fight. Because y'all did not notice a lot of things happen in that little scrap. Y'all ain't see. That's what I wanted to point out. Now, you want to actually watch the actual video, because you're looking at the picture that y'all see right now with my boy Robert. All of his awards and everything is behind him. Everything, he don't got his trophies. All that he's got Dragon Ball Z.
All his Little League trophies.
Yeah, everything, and his main trophy is the white bitch sitting next to him. That's his main trophy. And
Did
y'all
you see that imagery?
Yeah, do y'all peep he did that on purpose? There's another chair on the right with nobody sitting there. That means he did this on purpose.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is like there's some devious shit going on.
Now let's go to the actual.
I didn't expect that out of you right there, Solo, man. Shit,
hey,
boy.
Man. Yeah, but you was doing so good, dog. You was doing so good, nigga. I say nobody better not come on the show and fuck without Malcolm X in this bitch. This nigga. This nigga will pull the black power out of your ass.
You gonna leave me hanging, ugly ass boy?
No, nigga, hell no, nigga, here it is. Bow. Everybody give the black head, and we all
so this is the play.
That's some good shit. That's some good shit.
All right.
Okay, so if you watch the play very well, we wind it. Okay. Right here, when she going up, old girl hit her. Look how she walk away real quick. I don't want none of this. I don't want none of this. Because she was trying to get her to hit her from behind and get kicked out the game and look as a bully, just like he was saying. If you really look at what he was saying and watch the actual action of this, now she getting up talking shit, but old girl already knew.
Let that keep running. Let that keep running.
Let that run, bro. Look at it. Look at how she, and then she look.
Old and girl the first person to come stop her is a big old nigga.
Come back to the plantation, nigga. That's what she was saying. You got to come back and work with us.
Look Lord knows, Angels. Okay. Don't use hits, my white lady.
No. Hold on. Let me pinpoint something here. Like this moment right here, when she went to the ground, right? She first realized, oh shit, I done got fouled. And then she turns around and realizes, oh, it's this bitch. You know
yeah. Exactly.
She was like, oh, this is happening finally. And Caitlin's like, no, it's not. It's not
happening.
But see, if you go through Caitlin Clark's season last year, she did this same shit. Not when playing against Angel Reese, but when playing against other players, she would do dirty moves. So again, this is what I was talking about earlier. They would always highlight any dirty contact, any street ball that Angel Reese would do, but turn a blind eye when Caitlin would do that shit.
To your point, To your point.
That's right. So that makes sense. Why, if you look at it, she pretty much get look at this one. Look at this. Let's go back. That ain't one.
To your point. There's a couple things to watch here. All right. Well, this ain't happening to Angel.
Nah, they're just like bitches getting dropped.
But then I think the next one, watch this is Caitlyn.
Caitlyn.
So this is when she had got fouled by Angel. Bam!
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna take your whole head off right quick. Know what I'm saying? So yeah, it might be a little bad blood, as Swifty would say, but boom! Yeah, you see how Angel Reese is like, yeah, man, that's my girl, that's my dog. Fuck them hoes, fuck them hoes.
Whoop that trick, beat that trick, whoop that trick.
So basically, all that
because see, one thing we not privy to is what's being said on that goddamn court.
That's part two. Well, I'll tell you what's being said on the internet. RG3 has opinions, and as we already got into,
you got one more time to call that nigga.
Yeah, one more time.
Robert,
this shit is over, man.
Robert, my bad. Robert has an opinion, and he even brought a hype woman to help him illustrate his point. So once again, back to the well, and let's see what he's talking about.
Was different because of who did it, and there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that?
Girl just
on the sideline, just yeah, baby, get her, you get her.
Yeah, the answer is yes, Solo. The answer is yes. She's not only in.
What the fuck?
Can we take a second to just talk about?
She in the back like, yup.
What? Now, hold on, because I love the rabbit hole that this goes down is so rich and so beautiful. We have to go down this rabbit hole.
Let me
ask a married man on the panel. Let me ask another married man on the panel. I know Solo and I are married, but Ty, you are a married man of years. What is the message that is being conveyed by having the wife in the background here, in your opinion?
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, RG3 supports white women.
Hey.
What?
Hey, man, it's not tough. Like RG3's behavior. This is typical of RG3.
Okay. Oh yeah, he doesn't know.
We don't give. Ty wasn't here. We don't give uncool niggas cool nigga nicknames.
Nah,
he is no longer referred to as RG3.
Not ever.
Oh, he's still when niggas doing things that are against the black community.
Robert Lee.
He is now called by his government name, Robert Lee Griffin III.
He ain't even Robert. He Roberts with the hard R.
Yeah, Robert Lee.
Pussy ass nigga.
Well, my point is, we stopped listening to Robert Griffin III. You know what I'm saying? We stopped listening to that nigga a long time ago. It's true. This history between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has been going back.
Since you had
championship. But Caitlin Clark was the talk of the town.
That nigga Wi-Fi on vacation.
I feelings in regards to that because since Ozzy and Sue Bird have been looking for a great white hope. They always are looking for a great white hope in the NCAA in women's college basketball.
100%.
Last year it was what was her name?
Caitlin?
Paige Beckers. No. It was Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers was the great white hope, and she accomplished what Caitlin Clark couldn't accomplish, which was
number one draft championship
and winning the national championship. So the thing about this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark beef is it was magnified by the fact that when Caitlin Clark came out of college, she was already pronounced to be the best scorer of all time, despite those records being held by a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Quick question. What was that around the time when she broke? Whose record did she break? She broke it was like the most points, the most threes, or I forgot what it was, but there was
she had the most threes. She has the most threes.
Right, most threes. Yeah. She had broken this record, and that kind of, I think, propelled her a little bit, but to an extent that I believe it was a little, it was like, all right, you get it, but there's a lot of records that have been broke. But anyway, I'm just trying to recall when that happened on the timeline between her, the beef with Angel Reese, her, and being drafted now with the Fever. Like, where along that line, the timeline, does that fit in? I mean, just help me understand.
Okay, so to answer the first question, the first part of that question, so Lynette Woodard, what has the most, who has the most points in women's college basketball? That what happened was there was a discussion as though Caitlin Clark was just this phenomenon that no one had ever seen before. And discrediting Lynette Woodard's efforts for accumulating the most points in college basketball. That's where the conversation really started. Then, as the March Madness started, and I forget what school Caitlin Clark even played for. I think it was Iowa or something like that. I'm not sure, but as the tournament continued and whatever team she played for, started to move in the direction of the national championship, that discussion started to get more, more and more coverage. When that started to happen, Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers was blowing out everybody. They was beating everybody's asses. And there was no coverage in regards to what they were doing. Everybody was over here focused on Caitlin Clark and her pulling her team up, through the playoffs and not the playoffs, but through the March Madness and making it to the finals. Well, what happens is they make it there, and LSU spanks their ass just like they was spanking everybody else's ass. And then in that moment when the celebration and the discussion should be about how well LSU played this year and was able to accomplish what they accomplished, the conversation was, oh, whoa, Caitlin Clark, oh, we're so sorry she wasn't able to accomplish her goal of winning the national championship.
Come on, talk today.
Woe is me. Well, and as a player who played for that team, I would absolutely feel some type of way when y'all are out here giving exposure to the girl we just spanked. And
they talk more about Caitlin losing than Angel winning.
And Angel has been vocal. Angel has been vocal her entire career. Angel Reese has always been vocal. But as soon as she started making comments about Caitlin Clark, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she becomes this aggressive black woman. Oh, she's so aggressive, and she's just so. This woman has been talking like this her entire career. Her, Flage, they all been very, very vocal. So it's like when they started making comments about the fact that they should be getting their light and their shine, but y'all talking about Caitlin Clark, then all of a sudden it became the Caitlin Clark hate show. It became the Caitlin Clark hate show. All right, fast forward. NBA draft. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, top draft picks, go to their prospective teams. Caitlin Clark, when she gets to her prospective team, they don't really play her ass. They didn't like her. They giving it. I don't know if it was a light thing.
Yeah, she came there believing that she was better than them.
I don't know what it was. All I'm saying is
we can't speak to their attitude because we wasn't in the locker room and we wasn't at now practice. What we do know is she rode that goddamn pine for the majority of the season.
That's right.
Until the public started to make an outcry of like, put Caitlin in, let Caitlin play.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, ultimately, this. Oh, where you finished time? I bet.
Talk time.
Yeah, more
through that season. Angel Reese, by the way, started. She started every game, and also broke the rookie record for double doubles for a rookie. So while Caitlin Clark
and
is
if
gaining,
her ass had a better layup percentage, she'd have fucked around and had triple doubles.
And she probably would
that
have
is a
had my baby
possibility.
if she'd
That is a
ever met
possibility.
me.
Now, with all of that being said, Caitlin Clark, like Black Ron alluded to, the fans are scrambling and rumbling about the fact that she's not getting no play. So they finally give her play, and to her benefit, she starts putting up good numbers, starts getting double doubles with assists and points, starts doing things in the league. My point is, these are two very good players. I'm not going to take anything away from either of their games. The problem with this is, just like the college basketball for women's, the WNBA is also in search of the Great White Hope. They like the league. Listen, they're not the only ones. The NBA is also exposed to this same thing. It's just that they have yet to find that person until Jokic. Jokic now is the face of the NBA. He is. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. There's absolutely no question about it. You could have questioned it maybe 2 years ago, but there's nobody
wins MVP 4 times in a row unless the league is trying to make them the most valuable face.
Yeah,
and the difference between Jokic and all of the other players that the NBA, the WNBA, the college basketball have tried to make into the face of the NBA is Jokic's numbers actually speak to that. This man is a center averaging a triple double. Like, not only that, he done broke all kinds of records. And
he don't jump a 3 feet, 3 inches off the ground.
Don't jump, right? One of the most
non-athletic. They can't do shit with him, no, bro. Just like motherfuckers couldn't do shit with Larry Bird. They say Larry Bird was slow, and niggas couldn't do shit with him.
Couldn't do nothing with him.
Larry Bird could jump off the ground.
They said Dirk couldn't jump. And Dirk still had 40,000 points. When you can't do shit with him, you can't do shit with him.
I agree with all that, but at the end of the day, this nigga can't jump 3 inches off the ground.
Well, does he need to? Sound like he's doing fine without no vertical.
He doesn't need to. No, not when you're averaging what he's averaging.
If he could jump, he'd fuck around and be scary.
If he could jump, the league would find a way. If he could jump, the league would find a way to take away all of his pieces that help him do that, because it would be unfair to the rest of the league. So what I really wanted to talk about today was the fact that I think a lot of this is getting blown out of proportion because of the history between these two players. The foul was a hard foul. That's it. It was a hard foul. It wasn't a move like, I'm going to the rim and I'm going to clothesline you. That's different. Like, it's a hard foul. Angel Reese is, I think, 6'9" or 8 or something like that. She's pretty tall. And
she's not. I don't think she's that tall.
She's not 6'8"?
Nowhere.
Hell no.
Man, I told you I wanted to have a baby.
I told you.
Bro, Angel Reese and Angel Wilson about the same fucking height. They like 6'2", 6'3".
Asia's taller than what you call it.
Angel's 6'3".
6'3".
She's 6'3", like I fucking said.
All right, so she's 6. So she's like 6'3". I think Caitlin Clark is how tall?
About 6'2".
I'll tell you in a second.
She about 6 feet easy.
I'm about to say she can't be no 6'3", 6'2". But my point is at the end of the day, one plays a guard position, one plays a forward position or center position. So one's body is different than the other. So if I go to say smack down on Angel Reese's hands as she goes up to shoot the shot, it's a good chance that Angel Reese is strong enough to go through my pack and make the shot. What a hard foul is it makes sure that the player doesn't get that end one. That's it. That's what that was. That was a hard foul. Now, because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have a history, it magnifies that play into something that we want it to be. And what I'm saying is, I think when Caitlin Clark made the foul, it was just a hard foul. But because Caitlin Clark reacted, I mean, not Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese reacted the way she reacted because of the history between these two, then it magnifies into something else. When I heard Solo say a fight, we got to be careful about this fight word that we use every time basketball players get into a scrum. It's not a fight. There's no punches thrown. No one is walking out or leaving off bloody. Like nobody is breathing hard because they was
ain't
just
no fist ball up.
It's no fist ball. There's no fight there. There's a hard foul, and then Angel Reese like, oh, you bitch, you know I already hate you. I get it. I get it. But that's not what we're trying to make it into as being commentators and sports analysts. It is not. It's not a fight. What?
Okay, not a fight, agreed. And there's a lot of non-fights going on in sports.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a new thing. There's a lot of running to the scene and watch and a lot of getting in. So, but with regard to the Caitlin Clark thing, you said something that I disagree with a little bit. You said that we're making more out of it than is to be made. I think that some of us are speaking for Angel Reese, like the way she felt in that moment. I think that's the part that's the frustrating part, because Angel Reese, is acting out of the frustration that she has about the situation. So I think when Ryan Clark's speaking on it, he's coming from her perspective, like, hold the fuck up. I know the bitch that I made famous didn't just push me in the back. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not what just happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but I don't think that we're making something out of nothing. I think that we're trying to translate exactly what's happening in this moment. And I think one of the things that's getting Robert Griffin the third a little bit of shade in this particular moment is the way he responded is almost completely devoid of the sensitivity that this issue has for Black women specifically, especially them now becoming a predominant factor in the WNBA. So for him to use this moment to come into the room and give a clap back with this woman in the background, sitting there holding tea like she's watching a Lipstick Alley podcast or some other dumb shit, like this is a bunch of spilt tea. Like, I feel like most Black women have the right to be like, what exactly?
Let me tell you what Robert guilty of. Robert Lee guilty of 4 major infractions. Number 1, Robert Lee is guilty of having your woman in the workplace. Because from the other clips that I went and looked up online, you don't really have your old lady sitting in the background like that. Number 2, Robert Lee is guilty of a man getting in women's business. Women online been talking for a while now about niggas talking out of turn on shit that regards females. Female on female business is not somewhere where a man needs to be weighing in. Infraction number 2. Infraction number 3. You a Black man speaking down on Black women to the delight of white women and white people. And that's the one I'm gonna focus the most on. But number 4, and this is the most egregious, you doing it in public.
Ooh.
Like Ty said a minute ago, we've been knowing that Robert Lee Griffin III is a coon. A good Friday night fiddling, front porch lemonade stirring, Sunday evening soft shoeing, yes, I miss days, and here's how comes boss. Wide-eyed, big mouth coon. We've been knowing this for a while. Ever since the nigga was playing professional football and couldn't ever get his skin together. You bumpy face bastard. We knew you wasn't shit when your braids wouldn't grow, hoe ass nigga. You had them same fuzzy ass Jim Jones braids for 6 seasons, and you never had no hang time on your shit. We knew then that you wasn't no type of nigga that we could really fucking rely on. You injury prone hoe. But I'ma say the shit that niggas been wanting to say to you. Nigga, it seemed like soon as you got the Nike deal, you stopped playing football good, bastard. You bumpy face hoe. You wasn't good. And Baylor, really and truly, bitch ass nigga. But because you was a nigga and you was the captain of the white team in the time when black quarterbacks were being called unintelligent and not able to pass the Wonderlic test. And even though we could throw, we didn't have pocket stability. We ran around and we scrambled too much. You know, all the same things that they looking for in today's quarterbacks. Well, when Robert Lee was a motherfucking quarterback, black quarterbacks were being vilified for that shit. And you benefited from black folks speaking up for black athletes at major white institutions in predominantly white positions, like the quarterback. And you benefited from that, you bumpy faced bastard. And you went to Washington and you had a ho-hum ass career there. And then you got your bitch ass traded and you became a journeyman all around the league. And we always wondered, who doing Robert Graves? Why is he on national TV and his shit always look like that? And that's when we found out that your bitch ass had a white wife. And ever since then, nigga, we ain't really been fucking with you like that. And yeah, now you got a job on Saturdays where you analyze college football because that's the last time you had any modicum of greatness. So we let you do your thing on college football. But you low-key done lost all the muscle mass that you had when you was an athlete, and you look weird. You was a lanky-ass, Steve Urkel-looking ass nigga on TV. And a couple years ago, you had the top braids with the little man bun faded in the back and shit. And that shit still was a struggle ass hairstyle. Until you get a black woman in your fucking life, one that can at least style your fucking clothes and hair, nigga, you ain't got shit to say to us, Robert Lee Griffin III. And how dare you open your motherfucking mouth with that white woman that you call a trophy behind you amongst all your other white accolades and validations, sitting behind yourself, talking shit in public about a black woman, and then you cast aspersions on her like she's some sort of big bad fucking wolf. When the truth of the matter is, this woman, like all the other brothers on this fucking broadcast have already said, came into the game starting when the white woman you defended rode the bench like how you ride dick, hoe ass nigga. I'm gonna go on and say it. You said that when that other black woman fouled her, she laid there and didn't do nothing. Run the clip back. If you'll notice, this woman got clotheslined in midair, landed on her neck and shoulders, and then rolled onto the fucking floor, while the person that fouled her proceeded to walk off like she didn't do a goddamn thing.
Not a damn
now,
thing.
nigga, you played football. There's a difference between being tackled and having your motherfucking bell rung.
SP did it.
Maybe it's possible that woman that fouled her in midair and knocked her down onto her fucking back and shoulders knocked the wind out of her ass.
That's right.
She couldn't get up and immediately address the situation with her hands. By the time she had her wits about herself, the moment had passed, and if she would have got up and did something aggressive like that, she would be the big, bad, angry black woman that you're trying to play out to be. But in the moment that Caitlyn fouled her, that was a simple foul where she was able to pop right the fuck back up. And as soon as she turned around, she said, hey, goddamn, my whole career, motherfuckers been knocking me to the ground. Not just them two instances, but every motherfucking game she played, goddamn ground. And I be damned if the motherfucker who keep on throwing a rock and hiding her hand is the one who fouled me yet again. Bitch, you know I split your shit wide open on TV. On TV, and all they had was a little bitty pushing and shoving match, just like any other football game. And just like Ty said, they try to mischaracterize and blow it out of proportion like Angel is the motherfucking villain. But it's niggas like you, Robert.
Niggas like you, Robert. Ugly motherfucker. When
Ryan Clark called you out and told you where you was wrong, you tried to make it seem like he was talking about your wife and talking about your marriage. See, it's niggas like you that I hate, that always try to deflect and change the point. Like when you get on the motherfucker ass, and then all of a sudden they want to talk about your tone of voice or your language selection.
Don't do it.
Like when you get on the motherfucker ass, and now they want to talk about the time and place or the fact that there's people watching. Like when you get on the motherfucker ass, and then they want to bring up the fact that we at work or we at church. No, motherfucker. Let's address the fact. Let's address what happened, not just my response. And Robert Lee Griffin, what you have done right now is a major infraction against the black community. And we giving you your marching papers. Since you want to be with white folks so bad, go and be with them then, bitch ass nigga. Tell your
black
ass.
card has been revoked. Your black card has been revoked, you ugly black motherfucker.
Frog-eyed, funny face ass little boy.
I smell you all the way here.
How many kids they got together?
You like
and that little white bitch.
I bet he like a whole bunch of cheese.
No, I'm gonna show him what it's like when a nigga talking about your wife and your family. Pull up how many kids they done got together, because I guarantee you his wife ugly.
I gotta go. Goddamn it.
All right. Well, look, let me sound off real quick. But I think that your comment coming from the room of Black Ronathan, he's getting some comments in his live. We've got Newman Nuquan says, "Yo," and then somebody says, "Who's doing your braids?" I think he's talking about Robert though. All right. Oh, you can see it. Okay, you can see it. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. I'll pull it up. Don't worry, I'm gonna pull it up. I fucking love this word talents, wordplay, linguistics. Shout out to you, Newman, if you still watching. Motherfucker love to get a white wife and get mad when a motherfucker tell you about your wife. Okay, I see you, asthmatic. All right. Bahia says, "I don't like ugly and black." Same sentence. Fair. Black is beautiful, but sometimes people bear their ugly souls in public, and some of us black folks got to speak on it. And this, I believe, could be one of them instances because, like we discussed, Robert Hard R. Was here bearing his soul in front of his milk of magnesia. And as he's doing all this, he's feeling himself. And he got a whole audience in the back. You know what I'm saying? And for you to be completely tone deaf to realize for me, this is a message. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's a message. Okay, all right, we'll get into it. You really want to see, and there's more where that came from too, Black Ron. Okay, all right, Ron, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. So in addition to that, now the follow-up for this, I thought was pretty remarkable because it came from, as we've already mentioned, Mr. Clark, Ryan Clark, who in this moment is coming across like the black hero we've all wanted for this particular moment. And he was able to read. Now, before I get to show Mr. Clark's retort, I think Black Ron wants me to show RG3's family. Robert Griffin III's Jr.'s family. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that now. So here is the unveil. Are you not entertained?
How y'all doing?
What is going on right now? What just happened? So
this my son. He a sports analyst. He wants.
What's going on, fam? Yo, you look grown as hell.
Jason Jones. Yes.
That Lolo. That Lolo. That solo look. That little solo. That Lolo.
Oh yeah, my name is Jason Jones, and I get it.
I got a question for y'all, man.
Oh,
what's up, nephew?
Who y'all got for the finals, man?
Man, you and your daddy with that changing the subject shit. Boy, that is your fucking son. God damn, that's your goddamn son. Oh shit!
Yo, look, Black Ron, the same cadence and everything. He's like, yo,
I'm talking about same voice and everything. Hey, you and your ugly ass daddy. Let me tell y'all something. You must have went to the same high school he graduated from, where they don't teach active listening. You gonna pay attention to what the fuck we talking about first, and then when we get to talking about the finals, then jump in with that shit. We talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and Ryan Clark and Robert Lee Griffin III right now. Michael Jackson.
I'm surprised he didn't come in and be like, "Hey, I just came to say I agree with Black Ron." You know?
I don't know about the situation. I got to do my research. I got to do my homework.
Oh, well, listen, young man. I mean, look, you know what? I don't know. Honestly.
See, no. This is a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Come on.
This is a teachable moment. See, to the young people out there, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, if ever you are granted access and a seat at the table when Unc Nim is talking, the first thing you do, just like that young man did, you come in, you speak, you acknowledge Unc Nim. What's up, nephew? Hey, Unc, what's going on? And then you get you somewhere and sit down, hush, absorb information. That way, when Unc Nim turn to you, now you can flex that young intellect and inquisitive mind and precocious point of view. That's when you become a valued member of the conversation. But the first thing you must do, young people, is come in and hush so you can know what the fuck going on.
That's fact.
It's better to be silent and only thought a fool than to open your mouth and sound like your dad.
Fact. It's better to be a light than in the dark.
Come on, and you light as hell. Ain't shit dark about you. So you might as well enlighten yourself.
Enlighten up yourself. Well, all right, let me do this then. All right, for the sake of the combo, Solo Son, what do we call you?
J-So.
J-So. All right, J-So, are you aware of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark?
Well, I'm aware of their like back and forth that they've been having since their career started. Yeah.
Are you aware of the flagrant foul that?
Oh yeah. Back then with Angel Reese, and then she clapped back in the last game that happened like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Right, right. So what do you think about that flagrant foul from Caitlin Clark? Was it loaded with anything in the background, or was she just fouling, or was it a simple foul? What's your thought on it?
She definitely had to like make her statement. I feel like, you feel me? Like, yeah. In her beginning of her career, they all made it like a thing to push her around. If y'all notice in all the games, like everybody thought Caitlin Clark was just a pushover. Like, oh, she ain't got no weight on her to be in this league. You feel me? She's just shooting threes like they did Kurt. You feel me? Hot take. And Angel Reese was one of the main ones doing it too, to be honest, like because she felt like she was also the face of the league, to be honest. She actually made it clear in a couple of her interviews, but nobody took it serious. But
J-So, am I hearing that does a part of you feel that Caitlin Clark has been inappropriately treated or mistreated
by the players? For sure. Yeah. They was roughing her up her first year. It was roughing her up bad.
Okay. Do you think that Angel Reese is completely wrong for feeling that perhaps she's not been given enough credit for some of the rising popularity of the WNBA and is a little bit, maybe I don't want to use the word jealous, but maybe resentful of the fact that all of it seems to go to Caitlin Clark?
I mean, she's a part of the agenda of threes. You feel me? Now let's think about Angel Reese. We don't think about a 3-point shooter when we think about Angel Reese. We think about rebounds. She gets her rebounds. She'll miss 3 shots and get the board every time and get to the line. Free throws. Okay. You feel me? So when you think about Caitlin Clark, what you think about? Threes. She can shoot it from the parking lot. But true. That's just what the WNBA is going to push. And Angel Reese not caught up to that. She's not going to catch up to that. We've seen her jump shot. We've seen it.
All right, to that point, because I was listening to J-So, and that's a fair assessment. But I think the part that's not being talked about is, well, I'll give you an example. When LeBron came to the league, there was already a pre assessment of his talent and what he was going to be for the NBA. And when he came to the league, all of the veterans, all of the people that were in the league already also heard these pre-assessments, also heard that they had already anointed him King James. So he had to also deal with quote unquote being pushed around. But what he did was he showed up, which is what someone who's pre-assessed to be the king should do. That's the same thing.
Oh, Caitlin heard him. Put them goons out on his Wi-Fi.
Was also pre-assessed to be the savior of the WNBA. Those were the words that were used to describe Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA before she played her very first game. And so when she came in the league, all of the veterans, all of the people that came before her heard the same discussions. So they came at her as someone who has been labeled the savior of the league. So when she got there and these players were on her ass and she wasn't performing, the coach sat her down and let her sit on the bench to kind of calm that, to calm all of that pre-assessment data that came in. That was for her own safety. Because if they would have put Caitlin Clark out there in the very first game, and every defender in the league is going to be like, give me her. Put me on her. We're going to show you are not the face of the league, the savior of the league, any of those things. And that's what you have to do at Caitlin Clark's defense. You have to step up and be what they anointed you to be. So if you want to, you can't go through college and have everybody talking about how you the greatest shooter of all time. Because remember, people wasn't talking about Steph like that till Steph got to the NBA and proved that he was the greatest shooter of all time. We saw what he could do at
Davidson.
We saw what he could do at Davidson. No. We're talking about Steph. Steph played for Davidson. So my point is that we saw what he was potentially capable of as far as scoring, but we never knew that he was the greatest shooter of all time, or going to be the greatest shooter of all time. Caitlin Clark, she was already anointed the greatest shooter of all time coming out of college. So when she came to the league, and you already had this notion that she's going to be the savior, because that's what I'm telling you. This is what the headlines were. The savior. Yo, that is a shot to the Maya Moores. That's the shot to the Cynthia Coopers. That's the shot to the
Asia Wilsons, to the Candace Parkers, to the Sinead.
And not just the black women, to all the white women that came before her too. The Sue Birds, the Diana Taurasi's, come on, man. This is what you signed up for, Caitlin Clark. This is what, if you didn't sign it up for you, then talk to your fan base, because they signed you up for it. So,
and that's what I said. Like it or not, you are the white people's choice. Just like when White Chocolate was in the NBA, as black as he felt in his soul, as cool with black folks as he thought he was, as ingratiated into black culture as he assumed he had been, he was still White Chocolate. He was still white people's choice. I mean, you take cats like Luca and Nicola now, they by all intents and purposes, by all testimonies from their teammates, some cool ass white boys. You look at Schottenstein and Chet Holmgren for OKC, they some swaggy acting ass white boys, but they still some white boys. You know what I'm saying? What separates Pat McAfee from every other NFL sports analyst?
You gonna go there right now?
I mean, we on the subject, so we might as well go there. Every other black NFL analyst that was a former player has had to go on TV with a suit and tie on. He has had to show that he is not just some dumb jock. They have to present themselves as articulate, even if they have speech impediments like Shannon Sharp. They have to have all of their facts in a row, and they could never once delve into street speak, ebonics, AAVE, or cursing. Meanwhile, Pat McAfee goes on TV, fucking white beat on, leaning, sitting down, chilling, never facing camera one, no official media training, no articulation, on that motherfucker cussing on AM cable TV like it's no problem in the world, and ain't nobody been like, the FCC needs to take Pat McAfee off the fucking air because he's a white man doing this. Pat McAfee's so fucking popular, most people don't even know what fucking position he held in the fucking NFL. He was a goddamn kicker, a fucking punter, and a placeholder. When have them niggas ever been the most popular niggas in the NFL? Not never.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
when have they ever been the highest paid niggas on the team? Not never. When have they had the most hoes? Not never. When have they ever got the most money? Not never. When you seen them on the commercials with the NIL deal? Not never.
How old are you, Jaso?
I'm 23.
Okay, I was gonna ask you why you weren't in school. I ain't gonna lie, like what's going on today, you know? But yeah, man. So just to kind of push this story forward a little bit, because we spent a lot of time on what happened. What I also want to focus on a little bit is the response to what happened. So for those unaware, Ryan Clark did respond to what Robert said. And here's just a cliff note. It says, bruh, you know what it is with me and you. I saved you the entire season on MNF. I urge people to let you be you. Now, this might be jumping ahead a little bit because this is a response to Robert responding to RC's comments, because RC was vocal about how he felt about what Robert was saying. And this is what Robert was told by Ryan Clark.
When you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back, amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with.
Just because you don't agree with a sports opinion,
where is wife at?
Off the sport.
That is a great question, Black Ronathan.
When he normally does the fucking show, where his wife at?
Yeah, that's a great question. What she was prominent in the first video, prominently placed, with enough room in the background to be seen. This wasn't like, oh, you gonna do your thing.
No, so the first video you played is his latest video. The clip you just played of Ryan talking on the pivot.
Yes,
he was speaking about the video that you got playing now.
Where
there was no Mrs. Griffin III.
No.
As there is no Mrs. Griffin III in most of his fucking podcasts.
Exactly, which begs the question. What was significant about this take that required you to bring your wife in as support, as a prop, as a hype man, as somebody to kind of just back me up in case I'm saying something that I need to show that I've got support for what the fuck I'm saying? Like, that's fascinating. But when you're confronted about it, where is she now? Let's hear what he got to say.
But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, cross the line, man. You made it personal and some. I really believe there should be no space in sports media for personal attacks. I've said it before, but certainly personal attacks against wife and children have always been off limits.
No, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league.
Now, I have some opinion about this. But the first
where was the attack?
That was literally the question I was about to ask. Did you hear any attack or did you hear observations? All right. I heard him Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that it was right or wrong, but he did assume that because Robert has a white wife, that he has no interaction with other black women. Which
no, that's not what he assumed.
What he said.
That's not what he said, and that's not what he assumed. What he said was, you're out of touch in your personal life because both of your marriages have been to white women.
Correct.
So it is not hard to assume that you don't have any intimate conversations with a black woman as to her current state of mind, plight, or disposition in a moment like that. Because it's not enough to have a white a black mama or black sibling, female siblings. You have to have a black female lover in order to have a honest and vulnerable conversation with that woman about how she feel about certain things that attack her womanhood, essentially.
It's called pillow talk.
I hear what you're saying.
It's called pillow talk.
You're right about the fact that he has the right to assume that. The statement, however, basically says what I believe for Robert Griffin is that because of his marriages, that he has no place to speak on black women, especially in this. But this was tacky as fucked up. But in that, he's also taking away the possibility that Robert may have other sources. Now, I'm not saying that to defend him, but in that particular instance, I think that that's what Robert is using as fuel for his clapback. That's the point that I'm trying to make here.
I feel you.
As a man who's been married to a black woman, will only ever be married to a black woman, couldn't see anything other than that ever being my reality, I cannot relate to Robert Griffin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's like, and I don't even want to, because I chose specifically to avoid that type of construct. So I don't want to.
And that's what Ryan was speaking towards. That's what Ryan was speaking towards, because he was saying if you had a black woman in your life in any intimate space whatsoever, even if it was your mama or your sister, then you would not have been on camera mocking, caricaturizing, working your neck, popping your finger. You wouldn't have painted that black woman in such a bad light, especially in front of your white wife. You wouldn't have done that if you had a black woman that you held near and dear in your immediate life.
Here's the reason why I don't completely agree with that. Because you know the saying, Black Ron, just like I know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? So he could have a black woman on here that will be just as ignorant as he is. You know what I'm saying? The Herman Cains of the world, whoever that dude was that was running for governor in North Carolina, there is a horde of black women that will pretend that they don't know the black experience. Or
Stacey Dash,
frankly be resentful.
Stacey Dash, Stacey Dash,
and then there's a whole group of black men that came up with a loud and brash and tacky and obnoxious black ghetto mama, and now they feel that all black women are that.
So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that when Ryan evoked his wife as the potential only source of him, as if it would have been different if he was just with a black woman, I don't think it's safe to assume, but it's not 100% guaranteed, because he could have easily ended up in a whole coon relationship where they both are Uncle Ruckus and both hate niggas just equally alike, although it's less likely. But at the same time, I cannot let go of the fact that you literally had her in your video as a prop, and that makes her on limits. If she's
that's what I was about to say.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, you made this happen. You
had her in the fucking video with her coffee cup, nodding and shit, and amen and clapping. You had this woman playing the background to your fucking video, cuz you brought this fucking heat and microscopic view into your fucking relationship. Because what did you have her there for?
Thank you.
If not to say, See, I ain't like, that's why I ain't married one of you black bitches. That's why I got me a good white woman behind me, because all you hoes know how to do is be angry and violent.
But you know what's so crazy?
That's what you were saying without saying, hoe ass boy.
Pussy ass boy. What's up, Ty? Damn, Ty got caught up mid thought, man. We gonna sit here and I'm gonna let you wear this one, bro. I ain't gonna
Yo, Black Ron alluded to all of this, right? Because what he said was the thing about Robert Griffin III is he's gonna play the same role as a lot of white women play with the microaggressions, where it's like I'm gonna throw this rock and it's gonna hit your window.
Mm-hmm. And if you respond, oh my God, why are you messing with me? You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm calling the police.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna call the police because you shouldn't even have that window up. Like, this is the problem. And he's talking about journalists and this should be off limits. What should be off limits is you making a mockery of a news of what this whole thing was. This whole thing was a hard foul against two women. I understand why the WNBA did it. They did it for coverage because a lot of people ain't watching the WNBA games anyway. And one of the things about America is we love drama. Any form of it, any way that it looks, we love drama. We'll tune into drama all motherfucking day. That's why soap operas was so big in 80s and 90s households. I can tell you firsthand because my mom made me record all of the motherfuckers when her ass was at work. So I'm telling you, this is more about the WNBA needing some exposure than it is about Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Yes, do we know Angel Reese probably don't like Caitlin Clark? Yeah, I wouldn't like somebody who they done anointed somebody over me who I beat either. If I be like, how you gonna anoint them over me and I beat them? Like, hold
on. And why is rivalry such a bad thing in women's sports? In men's sports, hold on, I'm cooking right quick. In men's sports, a fucking deep-seated rivalry is the shit that makes legends. Fucking Michigan and Ohio State got a goddamn 100-year goddamn rivalry that leads to them having sold out games before the season starts. Same with 100%. Texas and OU. Same with Grambling State and Southern University. Same
Florida,
with motherfucking
Florida, Georgia.
Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Georgia. You know, they got these long-standing rivalries. Lakers versus Celtics.
Yep.
New York. Fucking Bulls versus Knicks.
Bird versus Magic, Jordan versus Bird, Jordan versus. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We've been doing this forever, man.
That's Macho Man Randy Savage versus Hulk versus Undertaker.
Coco versus
all right,
Thanos versus the Avengers. Nigga, America loves a good goddamn rivalry.
What versus Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup?
Why is it in women's sports? See, the real problem is we're having a conflict between competition and respectability politics. See, competition is nothing ladylike. Athletic competition is nothing ladylike. See, when women's sports first started, they had them hoes out there in actual skirts. They played basketball in actual fucking skirts, tennis and shit with dresses on, my nigga. Because they had to remain ladylike. See, when you had the advent of athletes like Serena Williams, who was gonna grunt, yell, scream, and be fine, she took away everything that it meant to be ladylike. See, when the WNBA, that's why the WNBA never got the exposure in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like I said earlier, there were most of the top athletes in the WNBA were also lesbians, stud lesbians at that, who didn't live a ladylike life. They had a masculine presenting lifestyle, so they wasn't finna do nothing ladylike for your ass on TV neither. Do you remember when they made Team USA and them put on fucking makeup, cuz? Do y'all remember that shit when they had Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie with red lipstick on before the fucking game started?
These box and all that too, yeah.
Do you remember when Don Imus called the Rutgers basketball team some nappy-headed hoes?
Oh shit!
Why? Because they were an all-black team playing against who? UConn, I believe it was, which was a mostly white-led team. And the way that Rutgers played with the motherfucking headbands on, skin ashy, lips chapped, bitch, we coming out here to play basketball. It was very unladylike. So now you got all of these women in sports that were first deemed to be unladylike that are now getting exposure. And the first ones that are seen as sex symbols are the black ones. Name me a white WNBA star that niggas is talking about they can't wait to take down.
A white NBA star.
You can't.
A white WNBA star.
You can't. Oh. You can't. There's listen. There's a very like Black Ron is making a very fair point because and let me make this very clear. The WNBA has not changed much in that dynamic as far as LGBTQ is concerned. It's still very much prominent in when it comes to women that like women, and that's okay. That's fine, is what it is. But that has not changed. Now, what has changed is there are faces of college basketball in the Jujus and the you know where it's cool to be pretty, you know what I'm saying, and
right,
you know what I mean. There have been women that have come. Maya Moore was a very attractive, very attractive, woman who dates. Not just her. What's my girl who married the NBA player who's a light skinned, who's a commentator now, with Shaq and them. Damn, and she not
Candace Parker. She got a wife now.
Candace Parker. Now, Candace Parker from the jump when she was at Tennessee. Candace Parker always been fine. She always been fine. Niggas
her and Latasha Butts. They had Tennessee on fire, boy.
Oh my God. Yo, so there is.
Time out. Let's take some time to acknowledge that 2005 women's Tennessee basketball team, cuz.
2005. Okay. Enlighten me, folks. I wasn't on it back then.
I think that was 05 when she played in college.
What you call it? Tamika Holsclaw. I think Holsclaw was.
It was her. Latasha Smart. Tasha Butts.
Yeah, they had some lookers. Notre Dame had some lookers. I mean, listen. I'm not trying to get on the
What's the girl named Cooper? Last name Cooper right now. Got the big old butt. Playing the NBA. What's her name? Tia Cooper or something like that.
Oh my girl. Oh yes, from the Sparks. Oh yes, T Cooper. T Cooper. She used to mess with my man from the Saints. Kamara.
She fine. She got her OnlyFans booty, boy.
Oh, she fine. T Cooper fine.
Quick question. J-So, you high?
Am I high?
Yes, that's a legitimate question. Are you high?
Duh. For sure.
Well, you see a nigga over there looking like Sid on Ice Age. Of course he high.
I'm quiet. I'm listening to y'all. I'm like, yeah.
You know, blow
Yeah, come on, police ass Uncle Vince. Come on, you ain't gonna this shit up right now.
Yeah, nigga.
You trying to get a job out here. You see he got on his get a job shirt.
You see me, I came in.
Goddamn, that was very uncool right there, Uncle Ben. You ain't high, your nephew.
That's some shit like that, though. That's some shit right there.
Why I ain't getting there neither, goddamn. I want some too, shit. But yeah, man,
yeah,
y'all bring up good
points.
Yeah,
see, that's why the YNs don't fuck with you, Vince. You ain't even say it player or nothing.
Indictments on
the way.
You
ain't even say it in a flash way. You supposed to be like, hey, look out, nephew.
I ain't expecting to be like,
Hey,
yeah.
you
Gonna be like, man,
you supposed to be like, hey, look out, nephew. Your whole ass fried on that gas.
Stop, man.
You fried on that gas, ain't it? Whole ass, boy.
Are you on the marijuana? It's like I came in the room like,
no, sir.
Is that what?
So I just went and looked it up. I just went and looked it up just for shits and for giggles. I Googled these 3 words: white WNBA stars. And then they took it upon themselves to give me a subset, which was most beautiful white WNBA stars. They took it upon themselves to give me that. And one thing that I've noticed about every woman that they have on this beautiful white WNBA star list, they all have the same thing in common with Robert Lee Griffin III's wife. And that's a wide forehead and a sharp ass nose, forehead deep like a Nissan Altima dashboard. Women such as, they have Caitlin Clark on this list, and we all know that she looked like the evil villain on Phineas and Ferb. We all know that is not an attractive white woman. They got Cameron Brink. They got Cameron Brink on the list. Very wide-headed. But she kind of favors Gwyneth Paltrow.
All right.
They got Breonna Stewart, who looks like Jim Carrey back on In Living Color.
I'd rather not advertise these women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm being honest. Like,
Brianna Stewart.
I'm on purpose. They got Diana Taurasi on this list. Who ever thought Diana Taurasi, as cold as she was fine? Not even in her face, Lord.
Nobody.
Oh man.
They got Paige Buchers on here, number 1 draft pick.
Yep.
Paige Buckets. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a whole nother conversation too, because they have anointed Caitlin Clark as the savior of the NBA from the white girl standpoint, and she's not even the best white girl.
No, because Paige finna come off in here. See what my
Paige
lovely city
from
Dallas,
everywhere.
Texas. We finna be kicking ass in sports this next fall. Y'all look out for it. I said it here first. Not only did we get the number 1 draft pick in the men's in Cooper Flag, we got the number 1 draft pick in women's in Paige Buckets. And we got Pickens coming to the Cowboys. Hey man, shit finna get real hectic in the city of Dallas sports-wise. Just go look at how much the tickets cost to go to a game. And them hoes is mostly sold out for next season. And season ain't even started yet. But Paige Buckets, they were talking about her in high school when Caitlin Clark was losing college championships. They was talking about this white girl named Paige that was getting bucket after bucket and had handles and had swag and was tough. There she is playing on Team USA. They was talking about this white girl named Paige a long time ago. We finna be saying Caitlin who in the next 2 to 3 seasons, bro. Don't you even worry about it.
Well, that's all fair, fine, Andy. It's probably the case. But for right now, for some reason, she's been slapped with the WNBA seal. It's almost as if she is literally, whether she, like you all said, she likes it or not, she is the official spokesman of the sport.